We are on the air, Pops. What time is it?
It's Chomp time.
It is Chomp time indeed. I am Mike. That is Pops. This is the Chomp Time podcast. We are episode 17, Pops.
Wow.
Episode 17 already. I have dubbed episode 17 simply, I'm confused. We are going to be breaking down the...
More than you normally are?
That's tough to say. That is tough to say because I have been very confused with life in general for the last few years.
Yeah.
But we are going to be breaking down the Kentucky-Florida game, which was in the swamp. Florida's homecoming for 2024. Obviously a big victory. And the second segment is just going to be the state of the program. Now, I have promised for roughly the last 6 or 7 episodes that you are going to be talking more than me.
Yeah.
And you will definitely be talking more than me in this episode for one main reason. I was not allowed or even able to watch the Gator game.
Yeah.
All I know is stats. I've seen a couple of highlights, but
Yeah.
all I know is stats. It was on the SEC network, which we don't carry in my restaurant. I was working the whole night. I didn't get home till 3 a.m. It was a fun Halloween party, but I wasn't able to watch the rerun of the game because I was all NFL yesterday. So, having said that, let's get right into it. The Kentucky-Florida game for homecoming. Gators with a huge victory. I know all the stats, but I'm still confused as to how it was done. What did you see, Pops?
Well, as you can see, I took a lot of notes. I was ready to take some notes based on the fact that we had a brand new quarterback starting an SEC game. We had a freshman running back starting his first game with Montreal out on injury. So for the first time in our program's history, we had a freshman quarterback and a freshman running back starting.
Is that right? Okay.
Never happened in our history before. So that's the start. The crowd was electric. It was a full house. Love the night games to a point. We were pushed back to 8 o'clock because the game before us wasn't done yet, so they pushed us back to 8 o'clock.
All right.
I wish they would start the earlier games earlier. Because it's getting to be ridiculous. And that being said, I thought we were ready to play. It looked like the team was really amped up, and we can go through this. I can tell you a couple of stats you probably don't know is that we had the ball 9 different times in the first half.
9. Okay.
That's a lot to have the ball. But anyway, I've been down on the defense pretty much since the first game of the season.
Yes.
And the defense has come through in the last 3 games like it's a complete reversal of what we've seen the first part of the season. They have been playing their hearts out. They made one mistake yesterday in the game Saturday. One mistake. They had a 45-yard pass, Kentucky, for a touchdown. That basically was the only real mistake they made. Now, special teams, we score and then we give them a 99-yard kickoff return before the end of the first half. We're rolling. That kind of broke the back a little bit for the first half, but we still had a comfortable lead going into halftime, knowing that Kentucky was going to have the ball at the start of the second half. But the first half, I thought DJ played very, very well. Now listen, there was a series where he threw 3 passes and all 3 passes were incomplete. That's going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
But the stat that everybody's talking about today more than any other stat is he was 7 of 14. 7 passes complete out of 14. 1 pass to Brodingham, my favorite tight end, was for minus 4 yards.
Okay.
Okay? And then 6 of the 7 passes were either 20 or more yards. And in fact, 5 of those 7 were 40 yards or more. We got a deep threat quarterback. 5
Wow.
of the 7 passes were 40 yards or more. Unbelievable.
Yeah, they had to be, because if you're saying one of them was -4, then the other 6 went for 260 yards.
Yeah.
So
He was
yeah.
throwing
So
darts. He was throwing darts down there and I mean, it was right on the money, these passes. I mean, this kid has an arm.
now the one pass you said that they made a mistake on, was that a flea flicker for a touchdown? Was that the mistake?
Yes. Yes.
So wait. So in a Florida game, there are trick plays allowed. So that's not
Well,
against the rules.
I guess we weren't informed that there are trick plays involved. And by the way, your prediction of 2 trick plays, out of here. Neither one.
0?
No.
None.
None.
All right.
None.
So here are the stats that I saw.
Yeah.
Well, first of all, amped up crowd, a full
Yeah.
house crowd.
Yeah.
Once again, salute out to Gator Nation. This program has seen quite a bit of hate and up and downs in our 3 years with Billy Napier, coming into a 3-3 game, a game we should have absolutely won against Tennessee. And we're still packing the house. I believe it's 10 straight or 11 straight sellouts.
Yeah.
So salute to Gator Nation for that. Yeah, like you said, DJ was 7-14 for 259, no touchdowns and 1 interception. But the stat I was looking at was 5 touchdowns by our true freshman running back, Jaden Ball.
And it happened 2 other times, and you probably know the other 2 times.
Tim Tebow
Yeah.
and Trey Burton. So Ball rushed for 106 yards on 22 carries for 5 touchdowns. So we had, the stat that kind of jumped out to me was we had 476 total yards.
Correct.
And if I'm not mistaken, coming into this game, we said the preview for this game was that Kentucky somehow was number 3 in the nation in total defense.
Yeah.
And so we had 279 yards passing with a true freshman. We had 197 yards rushing, mostly by 2 true freshmen, Ball and DJ. DJ ran for 46 yards.
Yeah.
So I'm confused. How did that happen? And Kentucky had 309 total yards, 165 yards passing, 144 rushing. So the defense played decent, pretty good. But once again, Kentucky was coming into that game 115th in the country in total offense. So I'm confused as to how we just ran up and down the field, passing and running against them.
Well, let me go back to the one thing you said about DJ. He passed for 259, and he ran for 46 yards.
Uh-huh.
Now, do you remember my prediction of what DJ was going to do in the game?
Oh my goodness! So you said 310 total.
And what is it? 305.
305. And did he get sacked at all? Because that would be a minus. So for his rushing yards,
I don't think he did. But that's okay. But
I said 300 all-purpose yards.
And
we
you
were
said
finally.
You said if we got 300 yards out of DJ combined, we would win, and we did.
So we are getting some credibility back.
Yes, I will tell you this, Badger. I mean, this guy continues to impress me.
Yeah.
He caught 3 passes for 148 yards, and then you had DK. He caught 2 passes for 67.
Right.
And then Wilson, I don't know why we don't get the ball to Wilson, but he caught 1 pass for 40 yards. I mean, it is amazing to me that we have all of these weapons, and for some reason, we were dinking and danking all the first six games or 5 games of the season when we have a threat. We have a deep threat that we can throw the ball. And I think that this is going to continue for the last part of our season. We're going to be throwing the ball long, and then that opens up the running game, and it really did for this game.
And I don't know how much the game plan was different. I didn't watch the game.
Yeah.
I've seen a lot of posts online, and there's still some people questioning Billy's play calling at the end of the half.
I have the same thing. I have a lot of notes where we had some, to me, just vanilla, as you would call it. Nothing exciting. We would do the same thing over. I mean, I always loved Spurrier because if Spurrier knew a play was going to work, I don't care if he did it 2 or 3 times. He would do it until it worked.
In a row. Yeah.
Well, he has a little bit of the mentality in a very lower level where he would make the same run 3 times. I mean, it didn't work 2 times. Why do you think it's going to work the 3rd time?
Well,
Anyway,
I also
a little bit about the Kentucky quarterback. This
yeah
is a 5-star guy out of high
yeah
school from
yeah
Georgia and went to
yeah
Georgia. Okay,
yeah
he was 12 for 26
yeah.
for 165 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 INTs. And so his backup comes in, some guy named Boley. He was 0 for 6, one interception that went for a pick 6. Our
Yeah.
defense had 3 INTs.
Yeah.
It was amazing to watch the game. It was truly amazing. This defense has just like a butterfly cocoon has just blossomed and is like, what the hell is going on now? They're flying all over the field.
Yeah, they have flipped the switch, and I was going to mention that Boley, I think their backup
Yeah.
quarterback, not 0 for 6, 1 interception, and that one went to the house. Not a game you're going to write home to mom about. And
No.
the one
Oh.
interception touchdown, Cormani McLean.
Yes.
When I saw just his name, pick 6, I was excited. Then I saw McLean. I'm like, Cormani McLean. So that was kind of a big deal. I saw that the whole team went out and celebrated with him in the
Well,
end
he went
zone.
he went into the stands. He jumped
Yeah.
up into the stands, and then we got a 15-yard. But at that point, who cared? I mean, we were way ahead. It didn't matter. I was just so excited that the team was excited and we're celebrating with him.
Well, he's definitely a talent. There's been some ups and downs on his early career, and I guess mostly on him.
Yeah.
But that's a huge deal to score a touchdown in the swamp. I don't care who you are. I had heard that Billy Napier was okay. He said it was okay that everyone went out and celebrated. I guess the game was in hand. I don't know if
Well,
that's
they
even
had a shot at him, and he was smiling. So I mean, it
okay.
was like he would admit it. The one downer in the game. The one downer in the game is Marshall got hurt,
So
and
Jason Marshall, our starting quarterback, who I have been on since
yeah,
the opening of the season, and apparently has been lights out from what I
yeah,
hear the
yeah.
majority of the season, and
It's a
especially the
shoulder.
last 4 or 5. He got
Yeah,
hurt. What was his injury?
it's a shoulder. So
So
we're
he
not
is he
sure.
out for?
We don't know. They didn't announce anything other than he came back for the second half, and he had his arm in a sling.
Mhm.
So it could be a dislocated shoulder. It could be a lot of different things. So we'll see how that kind of amps up. But they did a nice job filling in for him. He has been lights out lately, and I saw on a NFL scouting list that he's one of the top 5 corners. So he has been playing well. I know your expectations is the guy should never catch a pass against him, but it's reality.
No, I at some point in the last episode I wanted to say something about him, and I'll say it about it now. I was wrong. I was wrong. I was wrong. So he
Yeah.
has improved dramatically, and the way that I can tell is I hardly ever see him when I'm watching a game. That means they're not throwing at his guy. His guy isn't open. He's not a big fan of tackling, but neither was Dion back in the day.
No.
It's unfortunate that our 3 highest prospects, I believe, going into the draft have all gotten hurt, being Graham Mertz, Montrell, and now Jason Marshall. They'll all probably be drafted, but their stock will take a hit, and they'll lose some money because of that, because of their injuries. So that's unfortunate, but good for him. Everything I've read about him the last month plus he has been unreal
Yeah.
on the back end of our defense. And
Yeah.
one of the main reasons why our defense has indeed flipped the switch and, like you said,
Yeah.
blossomed into a butterfly, which I'm not comfortable with that analogy,
I,
but I know what you meant.
I will tell you this Jaden Baum. I
Yeah.
mean, the 5 touchdowns. Now, if you were a true Gator fan, you would have to admit that we got a break. Yes, we actually got a break. There
Really?
is no way in the world on one of his 1-yard runs did that ball go across the goal line.
All right.
They showed that like 7 or 8 times. There is not a chance in hell that ball went over the goal line, but they called touchdown. But the great part was every Gator in the field at that thing
They
put
put
their
their
arms
hands
up
up.
touchdown, and the
All right.
referees were just kind of looking around.
All
It was
right,
like,
I guess. That's the kind of call you should get at home. Now, that wasn't like a 4th and goal where if he
no,
was the call on the field a touchdown?
it was.
So the call on the field was touchdown. But it was a home field kind of call, which every home team.
You couldn't tell. You couldn't
All
tell
right.
where the ball, but you could tell one thing. It wasn't a touchdown. But that's
All
okay.
right.
We'll take it.
All right. Well, I think we kind of broke down the game there. We were able to have our way on the offensive side of the ball. Obviously, our interceptions uh, were turning points. The turnovers were big time plays. It also seems like they scored on a flea flicker and they scored on a 99-yard kickoff return. So the final score was it 48-20? Was the
48 to
final?
20. 48 to 20.
So we blew them out, and it actually was worse
Well,
because they had one trick play that went for a
yeah.
touchdown and a return that went for a touchdown.
Well, we gave them momentum when they scored that the return for the touchdown, the run back for a touchdown, because it was basically the end of the first half. We just were 3 and we punted in the game, and that was the end of the half. Billy, he just decided we're just going to run the ball 3 times and just run off the clock. But they were calling timeouts. It is what it is. Anyway, I will say this: at the start of the second half, we kicked off to them. And they had a long drive, 12 plays, and they ran it in for a
Okay.
touchdown. And it got close. It got within a score again. Okay.
Right.
But nice thing is that was the only thing that defense gave up. I mean, they put their helmets on and just started playing hard. 2 things I want to talk. One thing I really want to talk about. You and I, especially me, I've been very critical of Napier for a
Well,
long
hold
time.
on one second. Hold on one second. Let's segue into the second and final segment. So we're
All right.
done recapping
Yeah.
the game, and
Yeah.
I'm gonna let you. I will speak a little bit on this, but I'm gonna let you go first. The
Yeah.
state of Florida football, as it is right now, we are 4-3 in
Yeah.
year 3 of Napier. So you have some comments you want to say
Well,
specifically about Napier.
I've been critical of Napier. I don't like this play calling. I don't like uh, he doesn't have the right formation sometimes. Sometimes he just is too damn vanilla. Doesn't have any trick plays. Um, doesn't get amped up on the sidelines. I'd like my coach to get amped up on the sidelines. The only time I saw him amped up on the sidelines was when they called that 15-yard penalty last game, and it is what it
Right.
is. But
Yeah.
I think there's points of time when we have to give him credit for something that he and his staff did. The portal today is very, very important because if you don't get these guys, the 4 and 5-star guys, out of high school, you got to
Yeah.
go to the portal to find guys who've already played
Yep.
and have played at a high level.
Yep.
They look and they designate a couple of people who they think would help our program. And I think he needs to get applauded for bringing in Badger and bringing in DK because
Yeah.
both of those 2 players, both transfers, have
Yeah.
been tremendous in the game plans
Yeah.
and going forward. And the same thing with Montrell. I mean, it's been really, really good, and I think that he should be applauded for that because they identified a couple of players we needed, and they brought them in.
Yeah, I agree. The state of Florida, as I see it, I've read a bunch of posts that the one thing we're missing is an offensive coordinator. Eh, Listen, Billy Napier's going to make the biggest calls in every game, regardless if we have an offense coordinator or not. I don't have a lot of confidence in Billy in that respect.
Yeah.
But the offensive coordinator, even if we got one, is only relevant if the following things happen. If DJ stays, if Baugh stays, our running back, if LJ stays, if Trey stays, if most of the other studs stay, our current recruiting class is 48th in the country for
Yeah.
2025. And
Yeah.
that's coming off of recruiting classes of 18th, 13th, and 15th. So not exactly lighting it up, decent, but
Yeah.
not lighting it up. The Jaden Rashada debacle is still in the courts. I've heard that maybe they're holding off on, because they could fire Billy for cause if that case comes back to continue to bite us or cost us money or more negative national spotlight. All of that is only going to be relevant these next 5 games. We play Georgia, we go at Texas. Those are two of the top 5 teams in the country. Then we play LSU and Ole Miss at home, and then at FSU. The if we win two more games of those
Yeah.
5,
Yeah.
that puts us at 6-6, correct?
Correct.
I don't know that 6-6, depending on if that's a realistic expectation that we beat Florida State and we beat either LSU or Ole Miss. Maybe a reach, but it's realistic. And Georgia and at Texas, I don't know how we can win those. You don't know. We're playing very well. But if we go 6-6, is that enough for DJ to stay? I think you
Yes.
might be correct that
Yes.
he's a Gator, but I don't know. You don't know.
Well,
Is that
here.
enough listen, is that enough for us to have most of our studs stay and have a net gain in the portal in that we can bring in some guys? And is it enough for our 48th ranked recruiting class to get better? Like I said, that's 15th out of 16th in the
Let,
SEC currently.
let me answer that. Okay. First of all, we're in a perfect situation right now. I know we're 4-3, but we're in a perfect situation. We've gotten what every Gator fan wanted right now. They wanted DJ to play quarterback. I know everybody loved Mertz, but right
Yes.
now we're sitting right there. And listen, Montreal's going to come back, but let me tell you something. He's going to be sharing with Baugh because Baugh is one hell of a running back as far as power. This kid is tough. He's very tough.
Yes, that's fine, but we're still.
But here's the thing. Let me finish. So here's the thing. We have 5 games.
Yes.
We do predictions all the time. Okay?
Yes.
I'm gonna predict right now. You're not gonna believe
I
this, but
don't think
I'm
I
gonna
don't think
predict
I
it.
even want to hear what you're going
We
to
are
say, but go ahead.
going to win the last 3 games of the season.
Okay.
Because Ole Miss doesn't impress me.
Okay.
They do not. They do not. And
All right.
LSU, okay, at some point we're going to get even with these bastards because they've stolen a couple from us, and it's our time right now to get some breaks. And I thought that when we got that touchdown call, I'm thinking to myself, the kid didn't cross the goal line. Okay, I'll take it. The break starts. We've been saying this all year, last couple of years. We get no breaks. We get nothing. We don't get breaks at home. We get no breaks anywhere. Things are going to start changing. I believe that we're going to keep it close against Georgia and Texas. Close being within 14 points.
All right.
But
Yeah.
we're going to take out LSU, Ole Miss, and Florida State. These freshmen are going to get plenty of time, and that's what we need to do. We need to give these freshmen as much time as they need to say, you know what? We got a couple of players coming in. We're going to be a hell of a team next year. Let's all stick around. Let's all stay here. Our recruiting will be somewhere in the high teens when we're done with all said and done. We'll be in the high teens.
Well,
Okay, we might be 19.
those are
Yeah,
all your predictions, and those
but
are based on.
we're going to get some portal guys too to shore up some of the problems that we still have. But I'm realistic right now. 3 weeks ago, I never would have told you that we're going to beat the 3 last teams. We're going to beat all 3 of those teams. We are. LSU does not scare me. They do not scare me.
All right.
Ole Miss doesn't scare me.
All right. I mean,
Duke
those
beat
are based
FSU
on.
for God's sake. Duke.
Yeah, I know. Though, I love the fact that FSU is such a dumpster fire, even worse than we were earlier on. Those are based on a lot of ifs. There's a lot of ifs in what you just said.
Life is a
So
bunch of ifs.
even if that happens,
Yeah.
say we lose to Georgia and Texas, we win the last 3 games.
Yeah.
That gets us to 7-5.
Yeah.
All right. Now, I have been saying we need to be trending up. This is a coach that is under 500 his first 2 years. And you go under 500 3 years in a row, I don't care who you are, you should be fired. At Florida, anyway. If we win the last 3 games and we end off the season being 7-5, and like you said, freshmen are going to be heavily involved in the reason why we won those last 3 games, there will definitely be an upward trend for Gator football. This is also assuming that, and maybe it means nothing. Maybe I'm just making more of it than it is, but I still think the Jaden Rashada debacle, where we're getting sued and he's getting sued, the school is getting sued, and it'll be a national story until that thing is past us. As long as it's just like frivolous or we settle out of court and we get it out of the news, I think he will get another year because there will be an upward trend there. If we win the last 3 games, DJ's a big reason for it. LJ will get a lot of play time. Ball will be a big reason for it. Those guys will probably stay. We will be on the upward swing. And I think he gets another year. And, hope abounds. I do think we get into the 20s at that point for recruiting. That remains to be seen. That's still just a 7-5 record, which bothers me that the bar has been set so low. We have to go somewhere, but we would be trending up. And a lot has been said about how Mullen left the cupboard bare, even though his last class was 10th in the country. And Billy's best class has been like number 13th or something, or 15th. So a couple things I want to say about Billy. He has somehow found a way to keep this team together. He is recruited at a way that he brings in good guys, which is fun to root for good guys. They have not been mostly 5-star guys. There's a couple thrown in there. He's got a bunch of 4-star guys, and there's been a ton of negative noise, like we say every week, from me and you and the rest of Gator Nation, that they have found a way to ignore, because I'm sure these guys are all on social media. They all see it. He has found a way to get this team to play together and hard. They are playing better. They are trending up as the season is going, which is all we can really ask for. I don't like the fact that we're happy about being possibly on pace for a 7-5 record.
Listen. We don't know what goes on in the locker rooms. We have no clue of what goes on in the locker rooms. Obviously, these players have the coaches back. That shows they have the coaches back.
Yeah, they do.
They play hard. This defense has been turned around. I mean, the much maligned defensive coordinator, they had this guy out in rails. I mean, take him out and get rid of him. I mean, there's been a lot of stuff. We didn't start the season correctly.
Like the previous season. So it still goes on Billy.
Okay.
Like we absolutely should be 5-2 right now.
We should have beaten Tennessee. And the thing is, that to me was on coaching. That was on coaching. It was definitely on coaching. Now listen, he's learning like everybody else is learning. You're playing at a high level, playing in the SEC. We saw Texas and Georgia last Saturday. I mean, this level of football that we're playing in the SEC is high level. He's learning, just like every other coach has to learn.
That's fine, but it's still 2.5 seasons in. And
if we finish 6-6, he's not going anywhere. And forget about the lawsuit, because it doesn't mean anything. He's paying the players. They're paying the players now. So it was not even the way it was set up. The NIL for Florida, the state of Florida, was so screwed up when they first set it up.
That's fine.
Nothing's gonna come out of that.
That's fine, but Miami found a way out of that. Florida State had a 13-0.
This year, Miami found a way out of it. They were shit last year.
Okay, but it's still about Billy. You're still saying he's going to get another year if we're 6-6 or 7-5.
Yep.
It's I don't like it. I don't. We absolutely should be 5-2, and we were not prepared for Miami. Even if we lose that game, we looked ridiculous. Texas A&M, the first half was an absolute debacle. Those are both very good teams, and Tennessee just beat Alabama, so they're a good team as well. I don't believe that Mullen left the cupboard bare. I don't. I'm very happy with the fact that the guys that he recruits seem to be good guys. They are not getting in trouble off the field. They are playing their hearts off. They're playing for each other. They're playing for him.
Yeah.
Somehow, him as the leader of the program is selling out our stadium. I don't know how that's happening, but he's the head of the program with our 10 in a row sellouts, playing 500 ball or less for his 3 years. We'll see what happens in these last 5 games. I am excited for the rest of the season.
Me too.
Because,
Listen,
like you said,
we should be excited that we friggin' beat Kentucky and blew away what the spread was.
Yes, Dad, but it remains that we have lost games, I believe, because of him. We have currently the 15th out of the 16th recruiting class in the SEC currently. We had the number 3. Listen,
it's
let me
early.
talk. We had the number 3 class at this point last year, and he lost a bunch of games. Then we went to number 18. All right, 11 of the top 20 recruiting classes in the country going into for 2025 are SEC. So we're not even close to any of those 11 teams. It's all about recruiting and the portal. He's done some nice things in the portal. But these last 5 games remains. You're saying the best case scenario is that we finish 6-6. That is what you're, or 7-5 is our best case scenario.
Yeah.
And will that be enough to get us in the high teens or the low 20s for recruiting and to keep our studs and to have a net gain in the portal like we did last year? That happens, we give them another year because we're trending up. But that remains to be seen. This team flipped a switch. Hopefully it continues. We are going to be playing 2 of the best teams on paper coming up. And we really have nothing to lose. So it'll be interesting to see how we play them.
I'm excited about the last part of the season here because I never would have thought going into this murderer's row that we're going into had a chance. I look at this now, the last 2 games. Yeah, we should have won the last 4 games in a row. I mean, we should have beaten Tennessee. It was given to us, and okay, it's coaching. I got it. But you know what? You learn from your mistakes. So let's see what happens.
Yeah, but he did.
I'm excited for Florida football.
Yeah, I am as well. And Napier did find a way to get the team together. He did find a way to blow out Mississippi State on the road after a very bad start.
I find myself cheering for this guy to make it. I find myself at this point now. They even fire him off of the Gator Nation thing.
They did, and you have flip-flopped like I have. I don't want to start over. I hope we.
No.
I don't think we have the guy, but there are signs that he could be a successful coach. There are signs. It's all about his players playing hard for him. But I will end this episode saying this: it's all about recruiting. You know that.
Yes.
He is not a good enough coach to make 2 and 3 star guys 4 and 5 star guys.
Listen, we were 3 and we went to 18 or 19. So now we're 40. So let's trend upwards. So I mean, it's only going to get better. So let's see what happens.
Yeah, that's.
And our freshmen can help recruit some of these guys. DJ and Baugh and the rest of these guys. Wilson's a second-year guy. But we can help recruit some of these kids to come in and say, hey, listen, we're all young. Come on and play with us.
So, absolutely. So let's end this off. We spoke a lot. I couldn't hold in I probably still spoke at least half the episode. I couldn't hold it in. I got that from you. I apologize to everyone out there. I was desperately trying to let you talk. I hated every second of it. I'm still trying to learn how to listen. I've got a long way to go, Pops. But we're on another bye week. Friday's episode will be fun. It will be a lot of fun. We're going to be talking about football just in general. We'll probably talk about a little bit of the NFL, but then also college football. We'll focus on some other teams on Friday, including Indiana and their surprise start.
Yeah,
But
Illinois. Yeah.
let me end this off with this just simple thing. If we somehow win against Georgia or Texas, look out. If we somehow find a way to win one of those games, look out for Florida Gator football trending upward in a huge way. So having said that, come on, Gators.
Get up and go.
Take care, everybody.